Welcome to Taranaki Foodies with Area 41.
The tastiest food show on the Most FM.
The artist and the musician, the sculptor and the pianist who love food. How about we listen to some music first? Theme from The Endless Summer by the Sandals. This was chosen by Chris because he answered me earlier than you. And we already had three songs.
Only just it's only like a few days ago.
Yeah, but normally we let the host to choose the music. Last time I have chosen the music for you and the other guest. But you have to listen to it and tell us what you think, because the next question on air is going to be about how do you like the music and his choices, and what is your favorite music to listen while you're off your classical stuff.
Okay.
Do you recognise this song?
Not yet.
It's classic.
It's very easy listening. It's guitar and good vibes.
It's nice.
It's an old surf film.
Yeah.
The Sandals, are they Californian band or?
Sounds very California.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I've heard the song, but I don't know anything about them.
What movie was it in?
The Endless Summer. So there's two Endless Summers. The original one was 1963. They even came to New Zealand. It's about following the sun. So an endless summer road trip. So just going in one direction around the world.
I love that.
And just catching waves everywhere they went.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound is very California. It's kind of a easy but breezy. It's a classic.
Yeah. Good road trip song.
If I will have to follow a season, it probably will be spring. The summer is too relaxing.
Yeah.
I need to see the kind of a burst of the nature.
And it's funny too, because not always the best waves are in summer. And it's kind of a bit contradictory.
Yeah.
The best waves are usually in winter. But anyway, it was made for a fun film. There's two films.
So you love it, do a lot of surfing.
Yeah, I'm a bodyboarder myself, but yeah, definitely connected to the ocean.
Are you the same, Misty?
Not that good of a bodyboarder or surfer, but I like giving it a go.
No
Yeah.
waves in Utah.
No, okay. Is the ocean in Utah? No.
Salty lake.
Yeah. It was Olympics there once.
Go mountain,
Winter, yeah.
Yeah.
skiing, or
Yeah.
snowboarding. Yeah.
I ski a lot.
Cool.
Who's the famous Utarian, most famous Utarian, if that's a word?
I don't know.
Utarian is
The
probably
Mormon,
not a word.
The founder of the Mormon Church probably would be.
Yeah, maybe. He actually didn't live in Utah for a lot of life. But yeah, probably.
Welcome back to the studio of Taranaki Foodies with Area 41. It is Alina Williams, Warwick Foy, and our guests, Chris Wells and Mercy Jones, the artist and the musician who love food. Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
We just listened to very relaxing, good music. And my first question is actually to Warwick. Normally, when we create a playlist and he doesn't know who guests are, he tries to guess who is our guest, like a portraiture by music choices. And I wonder, did he guess Chris' choice very well? Does Chris actually looks like a person who would choose Endless Summer?
Yeah, yes, he does. He's a very cool looking guy.
Yes, it looked like a surfer, although he said that he's a bodyboarder
Yeah.
himself. So it's nice to hear, just to have you back, because each of you came before Chris about a year and a half, and Mercy before her previous concert here in New Plymouth. It was a pleasure to have you. You're so talented, of course. So Mercy, you didn't give us any choice of music this time, maybe the third time lucky. So what do you think of Chris's choice?
I liked it. It was nice and chill. Yeah, I like a good chill song.
So what sort of music do you normally listen when you're not onto your classical piano stuff?
Well, I listen to a bit of a variety. When I'm studying, I like to listen to instrumental music. But before I do big races or go for a run, I like to listen to kind of old songs that are catchy and will keep me upbeat.
We like this one the most because we are alternative music radio station, and we can sometimes listen to some really odd music, sometimes very forgotten music, or music that wouldn't be on air otherwise. It is on the most. So yeah, we like that. So you're only 16 and you're playing concerto with New Plymouth Orchestra. It's Mendelssohn concerto, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's a full concerto, about 25 minutes, and I play the piano and the orchestra plays an accompaniment with it. And it's a really happy and lively song.
Oh, awesome. I love Mendelssohn. It's celebratory because it's famous march, and Mendelssohn is used in the weddings all over the world, probably the most well-used piece of classical music.
My wedding. Use that.
Yeah, Mendelssohn. In Russia, we always play March of Mendelssohn at the end of the ceremony. Somehow it's considered appropriate thing to do. And each composer has their own vibe as well. Like, for example, I don't know, Strauss is always so festive. It's always like a ball when you listen to the Strauss. Beethoven is so intellectual and beautifully composed. And, there are so many things. What is your favorite music?
Oh, favorite classical music?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard choice. At the moment, probably Mendelssohn. I usually just love whatever I'm playing in the moment.
Then you'll hate him after it's all finished. For 6 years of 6 hours per day of Mendelssohn, he'll probably be tired. Oh, well, I hope he loves you back. All right. So, Chris.
Hello.
I did a little search online about you.
Ooh.
And I found many Chris as well who were artists.
Mm-hmm.
There is someone who does colored sketches, and it's quite a gloom and doom sketches. There are some people who do post-apocalyptic portraiture, almost like a steampunk type. There are some people, there's a lady whose name is Chris Wells, who is doing a very realistic looking landscapes. And there was some art curators, art directors, and things like that. It's almost like if you want to be an artist, take a name of Chris Wells, and the name will sprinkle the magic of art on top of you. Chris, what do you think about it?
About everyone having the same name as me?
Yeah, all the artists.
I mean, you can't do much about it. It's just a race to who gets famous first. If one of the Chris Wellses do well, we all do well. Yeah, so go everyone.
Should be a community of Chris Wells. My surname is Williams, and I've recently discovered a Williams Foundation. And what do? They do grants for people whose surname is Williams. It is a bit too late for me, but I should have known it a bit earlier. But maybe Chris Wells Arts Foundation is somewhere on the horizon. So you said that you sold some of your sculptures to...
No. The sculptures I'm doing at the moment, they're a bit of a hard sell. Like it's not something you sort of see every day. And at the moment, all the sculptures I've done are out at Kuru Gallery, which is on Kuru Road out towards Okura.
Oh, it's
and they're all, well, they're based on a trip that I went to Easter Island about 4 or 5 years ago now, and just based on the sort of head sculptures within the landscape. So I sort of took that notion and used the local tree that we have, kind of the same notion as rock to tree, and carved the ponga and the stumps. And what I wanted to do was just carve them where they were and not have to move them at all. Oh. But having talked to the council and parks, they're quite sensitive about you touching trees in public, and
especially if they're alive, they're connected to the...
No, I always carve the dead ones.
Oh, right.
So all the tops have fallen off. They're just left with the sort of stump and a little bit of the top. You just chop the top off and then carve the bottom. And if you can leave them in the landscape, it's sort of, that's where they naturally lie, so it suits it. It looks perfect.
Wow.
So I've had to deal with moving them into galleries, moving them in my car when they're heavy bloody things.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been an experience, but I'm happy where they are at the moment. They're overlooking the mountain and Te Kuru Pa over by Okura, so they're in a good spot. So
yeah, your art is amazingly connected to nature. So the lines are very natural. Material is natural. It's almost like you looking at a living thing.
Yeah, you can't really force too much depth in a ponga, like it's hollow in the middle. So you have to just use the lines that it has already. And the times that I've tried to get a little bit more intricate with things, it goes wrong. So I've had to backtrack, and you know they chip pretty easily too. So
you brought a book which is called Bush Haircuts.
Yeah. Well, that's how it started out. I've done a lot of gallery work in the past, and I wanted to do something within nature, sort of inspired by Andy Goldsworthy and a few other artists like that work in nature. And I started playing around in bushscapes and cleaning things up and using found objects and making things with them, and then eventually got into carving. And here I am 6 years later, still doing it. And it's been quite a journey.
I think you're a little modest. Looking at
Very.
pictures of your.
And these are old ones too.
Oh,
These are from 3-4 years ago.
They are.
Yeah.
They are quite intricate. I can see what you mean about kind of letting you down in terms of being able to smash into it. But the question is, do you always paint them?
I have so far. Yeah, it's just sort of become my trademark. I started out just leaving them natural, but I also work with a bit of digital photography as well. So I've been putting them through Photoshop programs and having a bit of fun with mirroring them and, syncing them and stretching them. And it's sort of like they've become templates for future works as well.
And I know you've just talked about the setting of where they are, but does that become part of the artwork as well?
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah. And that's why I would just love to carve them where they are. But so far, the council is not budging. So
I absolutely love how bright they are. I love color, and for me, it's kind of a representation of your personality as well. So there is a little bit kitsch in it, and there is a connection to the nature. So it's a combination of you and what happened before, and what probably will go further in the future. So I think it's a perfect time to listen to our second song, which is Superman by Goldfinger. How's it going for everyone?
Yeah, good. Do you want to do a glass of liqueur?
Yeah, why not?
Or should I talk about it first?
We can film it. We can try it and talk about it. Yeah, please do. Please do it. Yeah. So Ollie is not allowed alcohol, but he can have a little bit of the.
I'll pour this one.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm staying at the moment. It's called Kahu Glen. So it's organic feijoa farm. So
where is it? Is it in
It's out towards Bell Block. So it's on Parati Road. There's a Christmas tree shop called Santa's Choice, and then it's just up the road a bit further. So for the kiddies, young adults.
Don't call them kiddies, because then you'll be punished in a strange way.
Thanks for you, Mercy.
Thank you.
Yes, Devana.
Nathan can try liqueur, and Warwick and me can try liqueur later on, because we don't have glass really.
You can have this one.
I'll grab some.
Okay, thank you.
Grab a tissue as well, please.
Okay. And you have to tell us what's in this things.
And this? Oh, these? Oh, yeah. Truffles. Try it. Pretty refreshing on a.
Feijoa is a wonderful aroma.
Oh, yeah, I love feijoa.
Yes, it can be in so many different things. Even if you cook it, it doesn't evaporate like with a lot of things.
So it's 18%.
I'll don't want to compromise your glass. although people who go for the food tasting, we share food. So we probably have the same microbiome within our group, and none of us got on well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just quite good.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a real subtle mix of both Manuka honey and the feijoa.
Time for liqueur was 90s. I believe that people in 90s drank a lot of liqueur.
Yeah.
It's kind of into the wines and more thing, but maybe the time is to get it welcome it back.
Yeah, well, a lot more independent growers are producing things like this. The big guys like Coca-Cola and that, hopefully you're getting pushed aside and becoming more communal sort of products out there in the community.
Yeah, pour it over ice cream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I just got given it about a day ago, and I thought, oh, gosh, I wonder what kind of dessert I can make out of this. I thought about making something up to bring out.
Gosh, you're so creative.
I
saw your letters there. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Taranaki Foodies with Area 41. It is us, Alina Williams, Warwick Ford, at Taranaki Foodies with Area 41. And we have amazing guests today, Chris Wells and Mercy Jones, the artist and the musician, the sculptor, and a pianist who loved food. Because guess what? While you were listening to this music piece, we were trying some interesting things. I'll let Chris talk about what sort of drinks he brought to us today.
So at the moment, I'm staying out at an organic feijoa farm out towards Bell Block on Variety Road. It's called Kahu Glen. It's an organic feijoa farm. They also do a few other things, but feijoas mainly. And I brought in today fruit juice. It's a feijoa and apple fruit juice. The only place that they're selling it at the moment is at the airport out at the terminal. So if you're thirsty for a bit of local product, help yourself out there. And also I brought in a feijoa and manuka honey liqueur, which is made from the seconds of the feijoas that don't make it to the store.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is so tasty, so aromatic.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, and it reminds me of port wine. You know, good quality port wine from Portugal.
Yeah.
Which is pretty. Aroma of feijoa is so overpowering usually, but actually in this case I can feel a little bit of a crispiness of the apple.
No, not is that the
I think the
juice? You got the
No.
juice or the liqueur?
liqueur,
So that's got just feijoa
Feijoa.
and manuka honey.
but it is not too sweet. That's what
No,
I mean.
no, it's a good
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that too. It was going to be too sweet.
I've got a good feijoa story for you.
Please tell us.
This is also a massive plug, actually. I'm a trustee on the Winston Churchill Memorial Trust. Has anyone heard of this?
No.
I did because I know everything about you.
So what we do is we dish out money to people who want to travel overseas for research, and it's often not academic type research. It's normal people just furthering themselves.
Oh, cool.
And the trust was set up in the 60s when Winston Churchill passed away. This is a bit of a story that I'm sort of spinning a bit, but the basic facts are true, is that his son said, "What do you want as your legacy? Would you like another statue?" And he said, "No, actually, I'd like some sort of trust where people can benefit from my legacy through learning." So that's how it was developed, and it exists in the UK and Australia and New Zealand. So I'm on this trust, and my favourite Winston Churchill scholar is Kate Evans from Raglan, who wrote a book called The Biography of the Feijoa.
Okay.
And we gave her
Wow.
a few $1,000 to travel to South America and find out about the roots of the feijoa and how it ended up here and the story of the feijoa. So
That's
my
cool.
feijoa story. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, thank you for sharing this. This is pretty amazing. We all know that you do lots of stuff, but probably a lot of things goes at the background, and not, a lot of things not get recognized. Like I never heard of the book, which is interesting. Yeah, and it's very relevant to us as well because, well, it's a lot of feijoas grow in New Zealand, and a lot of products are made of feijoas. Yeah. So, Chris, you also brought some of this. What are those little?
So these are just date truffles. So in these today is peanuts, dates, honey, orange zest, and cocoa.
Oh, awesome. So I'll ask Nathan and Ollie to try them and give us later a review. But I have a first question to Mercy, who tried our second drink, which is the apple and feijoa juice. What did you think about it?
It was so yum. It was a good flavor of feijoa in liquid form. Yeah, I loved it.
Yes. What sort of drinks do you drink normally when you're in endurance running? Because you're the runner as well, right?
Yeah. I usually just have water. Although, yeah, kind of energy drinks are nice if it's a really long run, like 6 or 12 hours. And chocolate milk after is always yum.
6 to 12 hours.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Why does she sleep or eat? Do you eat?
Yeah, I eat.
What's your favorite food?
For when I'm racing or for in general.
When you have time.
One of my favorite foods is iced animals. Those are really good for when I'm like running around because they're sweet and easy to eat.
Like the cookies.
Yeah, like the kind you have when you're a little kid.
All the multicolored ones.
Yeah, they have little names.
Yeah. I don't know. They're a Kiwi icon, you know.
No, I
Well,
didn't.
Perhaps not
Yeah.
a Kiwi icon, but I don't know. It might
I
be
don't
wider
know.
than that, but they're definitely really well known here in the 70s when I was a kid. So what I want to know is, are they present in Utah?
I have no idea. I don't know. I moved in there when I was quite young, so I don't actually remember a whole lot.
Your chaperone's shaking their head, so suggesting that not. But yeah, they were big in the 70s for Kiwi kids, eh?
Yeah. Talking about chaperones, a huge massive thank you to Holly Jones, who brought her daughter today in the studio. All of us know that if parents don't put enough efforts and don't drive young people around, nothing happens. So thank you, Holly, for being such a devoted mother, for mercy. Awesome. So I know that Chris is a caterer for big exhibitions and launches and art events.
Yeah.
Why do you do this? I mean, you have abilities, that's obvious. But apart from the nerve-wracking experience of being an exhibitor, you also choose to cook like for 100 people. Why do you do this?
Well, I'm actually a chef by trade, so it's just my way of keeping my skills up to speed, and it's my part for the gallery as well, like just to sort of enhance the experience. So, you know, and these days I'm not so much working as a chef for a job, but it's more for the love of it, and I like doing little jobs once a month where there's not that much pressure. You know, you've got that one gig to do and that's it, you know, so you can focus, do your best job, and then it's done. I don't have to get up the next day and do it again. So yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, not a lot of people will describe an event for 100 people as not a lot of pressure, but obviously the chef inside you doesn't mind.
Yeah.
But, I mean, all the caterers go through the stages, like something gets into fashion and they all cook it.
Yeah.
But when I came first to your cooking, I just noticed that you are so refreshingly new and very creative. The things that you cooked were different from what I tried at the other events. So
Okay.
where did you get your inspiration from?
Just years of practice, really, and I've worked a lot overseas. I worked on yachts in Europe for years, as you know, and so I've seen a lot of cuisines and picked up a lot of recipes. And but the hardest part of actually doing those catering gigs is not knowing the kitchen I'm going to.
Oh.
So I'm turning up to these places and I don't know if I've got space to, you know, create anything, or, you know, I've got to bring my own boards with me a lot of the time, and yeah, that's the hardest, but the cooking's easy. But yeah, like that Toyota show, I mean, I was in a kitchen about 50 meters away down the road, and it was raining that night, and I had to cover it and then send people down the road with the food, and so that's quite a challenge. But I don't mind.
Where did you do your chefing training?
I did it at PEI, which is no longer here,
Yeah.
and it was the one on when they were on Devon Street before the restaurant was there.
Yeah.
Where the smorgasbord is now.
Well,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and before that, it was a liquor store.
I think so. Yeah.
PEI, I think, I could be wrong here, I hope no one sues me, but I think they got involved in some scam.
Yeah, something went down.
Something went down. We'll just
Yeah.
Actually, we did some effective training of young people for
Yeah.
a long period.
When I was there, it was pretty ghetto. Like there was only a couple of electric ovens, and it wasn't really set up that well. It had the certificates to get, but it was when I got my first job. I was just in shock, you know. I didn't know how to use half the equipment. Yeah.
So speaking about teaching, learning and education, we'll just do a little plug here for our friends at WITT. Kia Maya, do your best, be your best. Impressions Restaurant and Beverage Cafe Trimester 2 2021 has a number of nights and lunches that it will be operating. This is where students run the show, and you can go along, be a guest, support the students, and also have delicious meals. There's dates all through August, September, October, November and December, which I'm sure will be on their website, and very reasonable prices too. Also, we have a plant-based cooking level 3. This is a new course. I'll read the blurb for you. This training scheme is designed to enable cooks on all levels wishing to expand their knowledge in developing food products to cater to the increasing trend for plant-based food. It's $485 Monday, Tuesday evenings, and runs from the 16th of August to the 14th of December. And I'm sure that information will also be on the WITT website, which is wit.act.nz.
Oh, thank you for sharing this. This is amazing. We absolutely love local educators who give new perspectives for young people in life. And I have a soft spot for people who can cook, as you know. So I would like to ask our food reviewers to give us a review on the food that they tried today. Nathan Griffith, our social media manager and the leader of the group for food reviewers.
What are these called?
The truffles?
The truffles.
Yeah.
They're essentially the same as bliss balls to describe it over the air.
Yeah.
And they're covered in coconut, and coconut has become very popular now. They use things like coconuts and dates to sweeten food
Yeah.
now.
It's a binder.
And so there's obviously no sugar in there.
No sugar at all.
But there's
All
a ton
natural.
of fruit and
Yeah.
everything. So it tastes
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Compared with a bliss ball, I think a bliss ball is drier than these.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good description of how the taste.
Good for you.
Well,
And they'd be good for your
wonderful.
running, actually. Take a couple of those with you. Give you a bit of energy.
The second reviewer is Oli Foy, aspiring artist and our youngest member of the team.
Yeah, I like truffles, but these ones were a lot better than the ones I've usually tasted. Like,
Oh,
I don't really.
Like Dad does?
yeah.
No, they had a nice sweetness to them, which is like the dates and stuff. But
Yeah.
you can tell they're like really healthy because, they're not too sweet, but they've got a nice tang to them, and the coconut on the outside gives a really good texture.
Wonderful. This is so comprehensive. I'm so impressed with your bliss balls / truffles
Yeah.
and our reviews of them. So, Mercy, I heard that you like to bake.
Yes, I do.
What do you usually bake?
Oh, just recently I made some peanut butter chocolate oatmeal cookies, which were really yum. I love peanut butter, so whenever there's peanut butter. Yeah.
It's a very sporty thing because lots of sportsmen like proteins that are in peanut butter, and it is actually plant-based proteins.
Well said, Elena. Now, peanut butter is a really important, brings up a really important subject of matters that can split people too. For example, Vegemite or Marmite.
I have Marmite.
Very good, good answer. Pepsi or Coke?
I actually don't have either. I'm not sure I've ever had either.
She's a sportsman. She's
Wow.
Good to hear.
Beatles or Rolling Stones?
I don't know very much about either one of those either.
Ooh.
What about you, Chris?
okay, Beethoven or Mozart?
I go Rolling Stone.
Finally, smooth or crunchy?
Oh, crunchy.
Crunchy.
Yeah.
And do you go for your gourmet picks, or are you happy with Sanitarium or Eater or whatever?
Try to convince the parents to eat pics when we can, but I'm happy with whatever.
God smiles, that's good sign.
Yes. So when I'm fascinated by something and I'm totally immersed in, I don't know, whatever, I forget to eat. And that doesn't affect me that much. I don't feel hungry. I actually think that it's a sign of that I do something that I absolutely love. Do you forget to eat when you train?
No, I love eating.
Yeah, mom team who reminds you, ooh, you didn't eat. Here it is, your crunchy stuff or whatever. Right. So how much effort does it involve to prepare for a massive concert that you're going to be in?
Yeah, mostly it's just a long time commitment. So I've been learning the piece I'll be playing for about a year. And so I planned way ahead, chose what piece I wanted, make sure I was going to learn it in time. And then just consistency. So practicing ideally every day and just doing these things over and over so that when it comes to the concert day, I can just relax and have fun and do my best. Wow,
this is awesome. I remember my days in music school. They were very, very bad days. I didn't enjoy them. I wouldn't say the concert day is the day to enjoy. It was like lots of stress. That's why I don't play music anymore. But I hope you'll retain your hobby as a hobby, or maybe a little side gig venue that you would like to keep doing.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you're a millennial, and Mercy is representative of the Z generation. And Chris, if you would be your age 16, what would you if you meet yourself at the age 16, what would you recommend yourself at 16?
God, this is like 1996.
Wow.
What would I recommend to myself then? Do something that you love to do. like it doesn't mean you're going to get paid the most, but most people hate going to work, and at least if there's something about your job you enjoy, it's better than, just being a slave sort of thing. So yeah, stick to it. What I originally wanted to be was an animator, and when I was at high school, and my art teachers put me off. They were like,
Really?
oh, there was nothing here for animation back in the 90s, really. And just after high school finished, it pissed me off, because that's when sorry to swear, but the digital age started to come, like the Toy Stories and all of those movies came out, and I was just like, geez, man, that could have been a career. But anyway, the food industry worked well for me.
I just got a message of 19 years old Chris Wells to you. The message was, it's not too late now. So my question to Mercy, so if you meet yourself in your 30s now, so what question would you ask yourself?
Oh, that's interesting. I would ask, what's one thing I'd be interested to know what's changed from my plan at the moment, because I'm just trying to make plans for when I leave high school and stuff. So I'm sure there'll be heaps of things that have changed from my plans. So I'll be interested to, see what happens there.
Wow, that's amazing, because it shows that you're planning, and it shows that you have A plan and B plan, because this is you are such an amazing role model for people of your generation. You are showing how to achieve by using determination and hard work. So well done, Mercy. Thank you very much. So I think it's a perfect time to listen to our third piece of music, Summertime in Aotearoa by Karela. This is such an interesting show. Wow, thank you very much for all your input. This is wise advice.
Where did you go to school, Chris?
Boys High.
Oh,
Yeah.
So did you have John?
I had John Tullett and Neil Groom.
Oh, yeah.
And
We're still on air.
Murray Hills?
No,
no. I'm there. We're still.
Yeah. No. John's. We respect John.
John's he's a good guy. I still see him every now and again.
Yeah.
But it was just, that was the art curriculum back then. Like you painted what you saw in front of you, and that's what you did. You paint portraits, paint mountains, and doing cartoons. What are you thinking?
John was very influential on my other son. Used to buy them fish and chips, or chips anyway.
Oh yeah.
He's now doing creative media production, including animation.
Oh, classic.
So, it can be done.
Yeah.
Just the timing.
He was very crafty back then, though. He was hands-on sort of sculpture and things like that.
I got a story about John, actually. I had a good friend. Did you know Tim Chadwick? He was a reasonably well-known artist and art teacher at Inglewood High School.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot. You'd recognise his art, but he was killed in a car accident in 2010, and so we only had one art teacher at Inglewood.
Yeah.
So John was loaned to us by Boys High. He was sort of in semi-retirement, I think, but he came out to school and just helped us out.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome,
Yeah.
A good teacher means so much. A good teacher can just totally shape the path. Do you have good teachers?
I do, yeah.
Well, do you practice music with Mom, or do you have another music teacher?
Mom helps me a lot, and I also take some lessons online.
Online?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you hear well online, because music gets distorted and there's a little bit of a delay?
Yes, you can hear okay, but it definitely helps to have Mom there to hear it better.
Is that Tikuro or some other?
No, I take from a teacher back in the States who I used to take with. Yeah.
Did you ever have Noreen Dixon as a teacher?
She taught me double bass at school,
Oh, cool.
so not piano. She doesn't play piano as our main instrument, but she taught me double bass through school.
Noreen is great. She teaches my son Marlon.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, and she does cool art as well.
She's amazing pastel artist these days.
Yeah,
Full time.
So cool.
Yeah.
In her little studio, she makes like an exhibition of her art on the walls, so you can see how she evolves as the artist, because she changes them all the time.
Yeah.
So show Chris your art.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Ooh.
this is an
His
example.
art is shown on the cell phones of influential people like me. Yeah, and Nathan also has a cover, telephone cover.
Yeah,
And
nice
also,
one.
TV celebrity asked me where did I get that, and I gave him all his details. So she'll probably have.
Is the inspiration like the things you draw? Do you make them up or do you like inspired by other artists?
Ooh.
Yeah, some
Amazing.
both.
I like how
I had wondered because it's so.
I don't know, shouldn't use this word, but messy, because I'm kind of a messy person within inside. For me to organize something is really hard, and this is organized, and this is a mess, a creative mess. So this represents me so well. So we're going to wrap up soon. I'm going to read the announcement for our sponsor. Do you have any other news to share?
Got it. Yeah. Lee.
I could tell when the concert is I'm playing.
Welcome back to Taranaki Foodies with Area 41, the tastiest food show on the Most FM. There's us, Alina Williams, work for, and we have amazing, very interesting, full of content guests today, Chris Wells and Mercy Jones, the artist and the musician, who both love food. So the last message from our guests: what sort of events you're involved into and what's happening in your life right now?
Cool. Yeah, I'm getting ready for the Mercy Plays Mendelssohn concert with Taranaki Symphony Orchestra, which is on August 14th at the show place here in town, and you can buy tickets on Ticketek online.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm definitely coming because my son really loves classical music. I love classical music, so I'm taking selfies with you.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
At the moment, I've just got back into my sculpture actually. So I've just I gave it up for a few months after my last project, and then I got gifted another ponga a couple of weeks ago, and getting back in the tools and carving out at the feijoa farm at the moment. So you'll probably see one of my works at Kororo on Devon Gallery in the coming few months.
Looking forward to it so much, and
Yeah.
please send us invite, and we will come to
Of
support
course,
you.
yeah.
Few words from our sponsor, Area 41 on Brougham Street, the perfect place to get away for coffee, meals, meetings, and events. Area 41 is an Italian restaurant, cafe and bar, with a passion for traditional Italian meals with a twist. They offer a variety of breakfast, pizzas, pastas, risottos, Italian menus, and decadent desserts. The dessert menu is the best. Believe me, I tried them all, as well as the set menus and platters for any occasion. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. And all their meals can be also ordered as a takeaway. Thank you for listening for Taranaki Foodies with Area 41. Now we're going to take some selfies and post them on Instagram and Facebook. Tune into 100.4 FM every Saturday at 4 p.m. Remember, there is a live concert. There is a live recording of this interview online on Taranaki Foodies with Area 41 group page on Facebook. Also one on YouTube and Twitter. Meet you next Saturday at 4 p.m. on Airwaves. Bye-bye, my gourmetarians. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Still.
Awesome. This was so interesting. How was it for you, Mercy?
Good. Yeah.